Hey y'all, it's Debbie Wright, mentor at Tastefully Simple. I guess this is video day because I've already done a couple and did a couple live things on Facebook. So I figured I needed to go ahead and get this done. I've had conversations with a few team members about Tastefully Simple being a ground floor opportunity again. And just want to say this is not on script. This is coming straight from here. I don't know how long this is going to be. I will try to keep it short. Try not to get into too many rabbit holes. So what do I mean when I say ground floor opportunity? Okay, many of you know I've been doing this since 2001, April 19th actually, so just a couple of days ago. And so that's 15 years. It's a long time. I can remember when I first started, I had like $4,000 at my first party of inventory. $4,000 inventory at my first party. And I remember, lugging it back and forth, and it didn't matter how much I had. I still had to order more because the biggest stressor that I had at that time was, what are people going to buy at the party? They may all get onion at one time. And then, so I, buy a case of onion, which was 12. There was 12 in a case. And then the next party I do, not a daggum person buys an onion. So then I'm stuck. So that was a challenge, and that was something that was kind of frustrating. We lost a lot of consultants during that time. There was a lot of growth. And then we lost some consultants. Okay. So then we decided, well, you know what? We're going to quit doing inventory at the parties, and we are going to let the host divide everything out. Okay. There was major division and turmoil in this company. Not just consultants, even at HQ. There was resistance. I remember it well. And there were some people who left because they believed that people wanted their stuff right then. We needed to be cash and carry, and that the instant gratification was the future of this company, and being able to taste everything was the future of this company. And that's where they stood. And those of us that are still here took a step back and breathed and said, maybe there is another way. Okay? There was another way. Because once we started doing that, we had growth. We did. We had more parties because more hosts, they wanted to do it because we weren't in their house for so long. Let me tell you, when we were carrying inventory, it was nothing for a party to be 4 hours long. 4 hours long. And tasting everything too. Okay? So we've come a long way for those of y'all who are just doing the little 30, 45-minute get-togethers, which are fabulous, by the way. So we had some people that left, but we had some people that stayed, and they grew. Their teams grew. Their party schedule grew. Okay. So then a couple more years later, it was, we've got some states that are kind of being a little restrictive and iffy about whether or not we should be having food in people's houses. And we've had some people not quite sure, that the host really wants to be bagging all that stuff up. And there were some complaints about that. So, going forward with the industry, and again, this is over 15 years, guys. It was discovered that it would be best if our products were shipped directly to clients. So this was a service that we were offering, and in comes the $6.99 shipping. Actually, I think it was $5.99, and then it went to $6.99. I don't remember, but I know there was a little bit less, and then it had to go up because we ended up losing like $1 million in shipping fees. It was insane. So that's how we kind of landed on the $6.99. That's not just an arbitrary number. So for those of you who think that, we just kind of came up with that, or HQ just kind of came up with that. No, there was a lot of trial and error in that. And even the Ship with Friends came out of that trial and error. Everything Tastefully Simple has done is it has come out of pilots and trial and error. And so now we are to the point that we're doing parties. We're not sampling near as much as we used to. We're still doing a good 17 to 20 things. And we're passing around still. Everybody's still sitting down, and we're still chit-chatting, and we're still talking, depths and cheese balls. And you can make some meals with this stuff. But we're mainly still in the entertaining type business, okay? None of us are really talking food for dinner. None of us are really talking solutions at this point. And I don't know what year I'm in at what I'm talking about, because it all runs together. We'll just say midway through my 15-year career. How about that? So now we are shipping to the clients. Our hosts are not any longer delivering product, except for the stuff that's coming to them, because Ship with Friends has evolved, and we want to save people some money on the shipping, because they're buying an $8.99 item. I don't want to charge them $6.99. Rather just charge them $1.07, right? So we put orders together, and we have started to cut back a little bit on the sampling. Because, again, what we've discovered is by the time we're getting to the desserts, so by the time we're getting to the classy chocolate pound cake, and we're getting to the Nana's apple cake, and we're getting to the sweet cheese balls, people are kind of full, And even more so than being full, because this is even more important, they're done listening to me. Eyes have glazed over. They're chit-chatting with their friends. They're done with whatever I've got to say in my hour and 15, hour and a half script card reading presentation. Yes, we used to have actual script cards that we would read, and was actually told that we needed to do that because it proved that we didn't have to have all the information, that it was there, and it was a great recruiting tool. And at the time, it was. It was. Everything we've done at the time has always established the growth that we needed, and then we hit a wall. Okay? I want to say we've done that probably 3 or 4 times since I've been with this company. And every time we've hit that, we have had a decrease in consultants. We've had a loss in team members. We've seen, it's like a roller coaster. It really is. I think the fancy word for it is S-curve. We actually had a training at a leadership conference on that one time. It was called the S-curve. I've always called it a roller coaster, ups and downs. But when we figured out, hey, let's step back. What if we started doing mix and mingles? What if we did a buffet kind of party? Why do we always have to be sitting down? What if we kind of broke things up to where people weren't sitting for an hour and a half, tasting one little thing, 20 things. So all of this started, and again, this is over a span of time. And now we have, or up until 2 years ago before our new VP got here, we had a new system. And it was working for a little while. Now, we did have, like I said, people leave because some people just don't like change. They don't. But I think it's more of a reason of, in today's world, 3 to 5 years at any job is about typical. Okay. In direct sales, I can tell you that it's like 6 to 12 months. And Tastefully Simple has always been beyond the average on that. We've always been in the later part of, nobody comes in for 6 weeks and quits, unlike some other companies. Okay. So, now, fast forward a little bit, and our new VP of sales comes in, and this is 2 years ago, July, and I had the privilege of being in all the pilots up until now, except for one. I wasn't in the target 20. But the mentors did just the first one, and he rocked our minds. we kind of knew about collections because we'd had them. And truthfully, collections were kind of a grassroots thing too, with a girl that's no longer in the company, but she actually invented the whole Perfect 10 thing, and we had something called the whole enchilada and all that, and she kind of went with the, hey, let's sell these as a grouping kind of deal, just to kind of get that order up, to get that small of just one or two things up. And Tastefully Simple. Okay, ran out of storage. I had to delete a few things. I'm splicing these together, so I hope they match up. So we are doing these collection sellings, and it's about selling packs. And these are like $99 and $199. And many of us are used to selling, you know, $35 was the average. I mean, and that was still kind of high for some people. So, you know, this new VP guy, he's just rocking our brains. But a lot of us stepped up and we took the challenge. And you know what? People were buying them. I mean, we didn't have recipes at this point, okay? Some of us were making recipes to give to them. A few of us had already been doing freezer meal workshops because we were already eating with the product. And that was what was coming up in Pinterest. It's been about 4 years ago. That was what was happening. And some of the other companies were doing that. And so there was a few consultants that said, we're going to do that. And we jumped on that. And then again, Tastefully Simple saw how well that worked. And then they, you know, jumped in. And it's all been a systematic thing. And people really wanted the collections. Because what we had found is that, you know, and I've shared this many, many times, is that, you know, I still have my stuff from this morning. So they may just buy an onion. Okay, there's a few things they can do with this, but how many more things can they do when they add a salt and a garlic, right? They really need these three, because I'll tell you, these three things right here in my kitchen are a staple, and that is not a lie. I have backups for these jars, which means when this is gone, I open another jar and I order another jar. I have backups to my staples, and those three are definitely in my staples. So anyway, during all this change and selling the packs and going in this direction, we lost more people. Some of whom were higher level mentors who, you know, took some people with them. They thought the grass was greener on the other side. They went to other companies, whatever, you know, however it happened, it happened. Now, is that because of the changes we were having in Tastefully Simple because they were bad? I don't know. Is it because us getting adjusted to things, income went down because people were frustrated and they weren't doing much? I don't know. Is it because they were promised more things with this other company? I don't know. Do they really like the other company? I don't know. I don't care. Because Tastefully Simple for me, I'm vested. And I'll tell you why I'm vested. Because of these. I literally cannot cook without Tastefully Simple. Tastefully Simple is such an integrated part of my life in everything that I do. From my trips, from my vacations to, you know, my husband, my kids, they all know this is a marriage. And I know that that's a weird analogy for some people to grasp, but I'll be honest, there was a time a few years back when some of these changes were happening and I was seeing the mass exodus and I'm like, do I need to go? You know, and then I thought about it, I prayed about it, and, you know, I talked to my husband about it, and it just would have been really, really bad. You know, it would have been like a divorce. I got upset to the point that, you know, like my eyes were leaking, and I don't normally cry, okay? But I'm so invested in this that I knew I needed to stay, and I felt like that, you know, the Lord was saying, nope, hang on, something's coming, hang on. You know, and then here comes Chet. But I just want to say that, you know, because I think I'm getting a little off of topic. But when I say ground floor, we are back like I was when we were carrying full inventory. My ID number is 2720. Okay. Been around a while. And back then we considered ground floor because we were moving so rapidly. Nobody knew who we were. Da, da, da. Well, you know what? Tastefully Simple is re-imaging and rebranding themselves to be your dinner solution. We have a new model as far as the collections and TS to you, and many of us are selling on social media. Many of us are going to events and we're doing person-to-person things, or we're going to networking events and we are doing that versus just the parties like we used to do. My husband's in the background. And it's new. This is all different. And people coming in on the TSTU and coming in on the collections, they don't know any different. And you know what? They are rocking it out. We have people who are promoting and double promoting in a month. We have people who have made it to mentor in 6 freaking months. 6 months. It took me 4, almost 5 years to get to mentor. 6 months. Because of the new model. We are on a ground floor opportunity now because of everything we offer. The old Tastefully Simple, we don't offer all that anymore. Yes, we can still go do parties and we can still be old school and we can do that, but that's not where this company's going. That's not where the money is. It's not the progression that we need to go. We need to embrace what we're doing. We need to do what we say, meaning that at home we feed our families so that we can share with people and we're all using the product, because the more we use the product, then the more we know about it and the more people see us using it and we grow. And it's just the whole new model. That's why it's ground floor. So for some of you who are asking me, how in the world is it ground floor in 21 years? Because we're not the same company. We have the same name. We have some of the same products. We have some of the same ways. But the basis is not the same anymore. And it's kind of exciting. So, why do I make this video? Because I want you to embrace everything that's happening. I want you to get in and figure it out. And there's an easy tool to do it, and it's called Rallyware. Okay, if you log on to my HQ and go to join us, you'll see new consultant training. You need to do this. I know it takes time. Even if you can only do 20 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, just do a couple of tasks. You need to do it. Okay, because it's going to explain everything that you need to know on how people are making some serious money now. Y'all, this is career money, and I know that some of you don't like your job. You don't like getting up and going to work every day. And you wish there was a way you can make money. And some of you only need like $500 or $600 a month take home, and you don't have to do that mess anymore. Yeah. Some of you need $4,000 or $5,000, and we can work up to that. And with the new Lead Strong bonuses, if you're teaching people to do this new plan, oh my gosh, you're going to be there so much faster. So, I've been yakking a long time, and I had a lot to say, and I told you that it wasn't scripted. So I hope that this helps. If you want to talk to me, message me. We'll set up a time of how this works for you and how everything can be carved out and planned for you, because there's so many different facets now to this model, and there's so many different ways to make money now. It's not just about booking a taste testing party, people coming over, passing food around and taking orders. That's not all it is anymore. It can still be that. There's so much more available now, and so many work smarter, not harder things that you can do. Okay? So, with that, I say goodbye, and you know how to reach me. Hey, real quick, I noticed when I was splicing the other 2 videos together, I didn't even talk about subscription boxes, and that's really where we're going, TSTU, and the reason is because that's on point. I just did an event, and I had all of the 10 meals and more, and have the 30 meals and more out, and I had the entertaining boxes out. And people would come up and they were like, oh, I've seen these boxes, or, oh, these are so cool, I've heard about these. No, you haven't, but I'll be glad to tell you about it. Of course, I didn't say that. But in my mind, what they've heard about is the concept, and they know about that because of all the big guys right now that are doing a ton of the advertising for us. And ours is better, and you know why ours is better, because we don't send them everything, and people can add their own fresh ingredients. So they have choices, and they can look in their pantry, and they can decide if they want to eat this tonight or they want to eat that tonight. They're not told by what's in the box. So there's lots of different ways with Tastefully Simple, and I can make a whole totally different video on that. In fact, you've probably seen it if you go and look at the one that I do for Facebook parties. But so I just wanted to mention that real quick, because that is a direction that we need to be going full force on, because that's residual income. And subscription boxes, people can come in and they can just do TSTU, and they can just share TSTU, and people can get on boxes and they can share the boxes, and that's just an ongoing thing that has nothing to do with parties. Can you sell those at parties? Yes. Do hosts get rewards off of those? Yes. But you don't have to be at a party to do that. You can do one-on-ones. You can do social media. You can do networking events. You can do so many different things. And all it is, hey, I got a code to save you, 20%, $40. You want it? Oh my gosh. That is one of the main reasons why we have changed and why we can be considered ground floor, because our model's different now. It is. We're a hybrid. We're a hybrid. So anyway, so talk to you soon. Bye.